In today's episode, I'm going to answer your questions that you asked me over on Instagram. I'll answer how much do we pay for our shop? How do you expand a business? And what new business am I starting? And if you are interested in starting your detailing business, click the link in the show notes, or if you're watching this on YouTube, click down in the description box to download the ultimate guide to start your detailing business. It took me quite a while to write this guide. It has over 10,000 words of content on starting and growing your business. So download that and actually implement it to start your business. Let's go ahead and get started with this episode. Welcome back to the Detailing Business Class podcast, where you'll learn proven tactics and strategies on sales, marketing, and operations to grow your business. I'm your host, Oscar Gill, and my goal is to elevate you as a detailer and business owner to the next level. And welcome to a new episode. Glad to have you here. Like I said, we're going to go over some questions that were submitted on my Instagram stories. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me so you can submit your question. And I answered them on Instagram, but I can go more in depth here on this podcast. So I'll pick a few and we'll just kind of go along the way. So first question here is, some of these questions are a bit shortened, so I might stumble over reading them because they try to write it in a shorter manner. So what do you pay for rent at your shop? A size like that here in Vegas runs around $2,200 to $2,600 a month. So so we have two units. Side to side. Unit 104, which is our first unit, is 1,500 square feet, and it's $1,650 a month. Then we have, let me actually write it down. Then we have the second unit, which is unit 105. That is 3,000 square feet, and we pay $3,300 on that. Now, we pay it in one go. We paid in one go. So in total for the month, it's around $5,000 for the rent. Now this is on a triple net. I forget what it's called. It's triple net. But basically, like, they tack on other expenses and like utilities to keep the thing running. I forget the exact thing. But then there's like an extra like $300, I think, on the triple net. So in total, you're looking like around $5,300 a month. Now the interesting thing, well, not interesting. So the original developers or owners of this property, they sold it off to a new company. So there's unit 103, which is right next to unit 104. And since that one is vacant right now, I asked, just out of curiosity, I was like, hey, how much would it be for unit 103? It's the same size. It's the exact same size, exact same layout as our unit 104. And the price to unit 103 now is $2,200 a month. The exact same size as unit 104, where we're paying $1,650 a month. It's now $2,200 a month. Now, they said it as well that hey, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there, so we might be able to, play with the numbers a little bit. So I might be able to get that down. Not that I am, but if I were to play that card and I wanted to see, what the price would be, you could probably get that down to like $2,000 maybe. But you're looking at literally, call it a $500, $600 price increase on the unit right over. Is it inflate? But usually when property owners, when someone takes over new property, think about like a duplex, an apartment, a house, right? And like you sell it off. Typically, what happens is you do some renovations or you do something, or not even something. You just raise the price. So that's pretty standard as far as like raising rates goes. That still sucks though, because it's that's still an extra $600 for like not that bigger size. Now I will say that the state that you live in plays a big role to this. So Texas is very well known for being a very business friendly state. Even with this shop that we got here, like I literally just put the deposit down, which is the first month rent and last month's rent, and that was it. They didn't go over the finances. They didn't nothing from the bank, nothing from the whatever. Like it was just like, hey, sign up, move in, and that's it. So I think as a whole, Texas, through policy, through just like a cost of living, It's a much more business friendly state. Another big factor to how much a shop is again cost of living and then where it is. So like um the barber I go to, right? He has maybe like 800 square feet of space. I think maybe call it like that, around 800 square feet. Now his space is considered retail space. He's on a shopping strip with other businesses next to him. That's more like consumer friendly as far as like, oh yeah, you go there to go buy something real quick, and then you might go to the other store, right? So it's retail. So his for let's say like let's call it 800 to 1,000. I don't know the exact size, but 800 to 1,000 square feet. He pays $2,400 a month. So we have 1,500 square feet, and we pay 1,650. He has like 800 to 1,000 square feet, and he's paying 2,400 because retail space is different than commercial space. So this our unit here is considered commercial space. If you go to a retail retail space where like you're able to have a shop there, that just it's gonna cost you more just because what it's labeled as retail space. So if you want a more affordable option, get commercial. Um, and then on top of that, it's also like, okay, like what part of town are you? Like the foot traffic, how close are you to a main road or to whatever? Like, so there's a lot of things that go into it. So anyways, that's how much we pay. I my our plans is to move out of here to another location. Now that's why I needed her. Like, there's a little bit of pressure to get the PPF and the vinyl wrap going, and possibly the tint, and to launch products, because I need to guesstimate how much space we need moving forward at the next location if we do move. Because if I were to move and get another 5,000 square foot shop, that might be way too little, right? Because I don't know how much space I'll need for products. I don't know how much space we'll need to hold, you know, a PPF and a paint correction going on at the same time. Like, how much space do you really need for that? And then it's like, well, how much growth is Proper having? The product side, it's like, which is the products we're going to launch. It's like, does that need its own 1,600 square feet shop? Not right now, but like moving, into the future over the next year, 2 years, 5 years. It's like, how much space is that going to need in itself? So that's why I kind of need to get things going. That way, I can get like a better guesstimation on how much space we'll need. So, next question here: what motivates you? What motivates you to work hard? Yeah, I guess in a lot of ways. As far as like, one being grateful for knowing what I have and where we are. As far as like, knowing what my parents came through, knowing what they went through to get me to where I am, and then being grateful for everything. Like, I think that's probably one of the best things that you can do in life, is just to always be grateful. I always I've thought about it a while ago, and I was like, you could be how to say that, you could be grateful and not happy, but you can't be happy. What did I say? Is it you could be happy? You could be grateful without being happy, but you can't be happy without being grateful. I said something like that. But to the point being of like, good days, bad days, you miss the goals, marks, whatever. It's like, it's just knowing that it's just whatever you are, whatever you're doing, to be grateful for whatever you have, is like, it's good to do. But aside from that, I just, aside from, that, it's like, it's trying to really reach my potential as far as seeing what I can really do, because, what's your true limit? If someone were to ask you that, right? What's your real limit? What's your real cap to success or to progress or to, whatever? So, is making 5,000 a month your limit? Is it 50,000 a month? Is it 500,000 a month? Is it 5 million a month? Like, who really knows? So it's like, is this trying to find what your true limit is? So good question. Next question here is, what would you suggest as a payment option for a small business? Check, cash, or Venmo? So I'm going to keep it very straightforward. You should always, to keep it simple, card, keep it simple. Accept card or cash. Stay away from checks. If you are going to use some form of like third party payment option, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, try to limit to like one. Reason being is because with like, let's say you're going to use Square. Everyone uses Square, right? If they swipe their card with Square, they're connected straight to your account, so it can go straight to your account, to your bank account, right? After processes and all that. But with Venmo, if you have so many different ones like Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, it's like that just a lot of different ways that you might forget something, or you might be like, okay, yeah, I got paid $100, and it's like, well, I could send it to my business account, but you know, I need the money for my personal account, so I'm gonna just send it to my personal account, and that you just don't want to do that. Like you don't want to have that temptation. You want to make sure whatever's business goes straight to business, and there's no like, oh, well, I have my Venmo card here, just swipe that, even though it's supposed to be business and it's supposed to go to your business account. You're like, oh, well, here's my Venmo, just swipe that. There's $100 on there. You don't want to do that. So I would suggest card, cash, stay away from checks. I think so. If we are going to get paid through an app, we'll use Zelle. That's because it's connected to our Chase account. So like it's almost the same thing. It goes straight to our bank account. I think over the last 2-3 years, I think we've used Zelle 4 times. Everything else has been through card or cash. Even on your phone on Square now, like they can like tap to pay with their phone. So I would just keep it that simple. Don't try to overcomplicate it. So yeah. Next question here is how do I quote a company that wants 50 cars detailed? So I actually would not be able to give you the best advice to that question, because for us, if a company reaches out to us and they ask us, hey, Oscar, how much is it to maintain our fleet of trucks, to maintain our fleet of vans? Hey, can you come do a group washing on Friday for an event with 25 vehicles? Immediately, we're going to say, no, we can't. We'll say it much nicer than that, but we say, hey, like that's not, we don't offer those kind of services. Our van isn't set up for that kind of volume. And it's not like, it seems like it's an opportunity. Like, oh, that's great. Like that's a lot of cars. Just knock them out really quick. But that's not the type of business that we're running. And if we were to spend the whole day to go do this fleet, this whatever, we're taking away from our main focus, right? So like, you need to see what is a distraction and what is an opportunity. And a lot of things seem like opportunities at first because it's money. Oh, a fleet wash? Oh, I'll go do it. A maintenance program for 20 cars? Oh, I'll go do it. Oh, there's this, there's that. Like everything seems like an opportunity. But you have to be crystal clear on like what kind of business are you trying to run, right? If you're saying to yourself, man, I want more high ticket items. I want more correction and coatings. I want more tint jobs. And then someone comes to you saying, hey, can you handle our 25 vehicles every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m.? You're like, yeah, sure, I'll go do that. It's like, you know, for what you want to do versus the job that you're servicing don't really align. So like you have to be focused on like, okay, what is it that you want? If you're set up for volume, if you're set up for like you just do more kind of in and out, like quick in and outs, fantastic, like more to you. But the problem is if you have the mentality of saying, oh, well, I want, you know, correction coatings, higher ticket jobs, and then you get like some fleet wash vehicle client, it's really hard for you to like detach yourself from saying, okay, well, I'm going to foam it down and hand wash it and scrub the tires and scrub the wheels and rinse it and dry it, because you want to focus on like the higher end stuff, and you're translating that towards the fleet washing. Whereas if you wanted to do a fleet washing on like a fleet of Amazon vehicles, it's like you're gonna foam it down, scrub it with a handle brush, with a wash mitt, rinse it down, half dry it, move on to the next one. You know, and it's like if you don't have the right mindset for that kind of service, it's like it's not gonna work out for you, because you want to spend more time and get them nice, you know, get them good looking, but they're not gonna pay you that much money. Like if there's a fleet of 25 vehicles, call it Amazon, UPS, FedEx, whatever vehicles, right? You think they're going to spend $100, $125, $200 per vehicle? think more like 20, more like $30 a vehicle, in and out probably, you know? So the mindset you have to how you tackle those jobs is much different than like, oh, well, I want to do my full details. No. So again, so my advice is like, we don't take those on. So if that makes sense to you to not take them on, don't take them on. But that being said, like if you do want to take on a fleet of vehicles, like you have to have the right mindset, and you really have to make sure like everything is crystal clear on what you're going to perform and what that customer is expecting. Because again, you're not gonna get you're not getting $200 a vehicle if you're doing it like on a weekly, biweekly schedule. You're not getting $200, $100 maybe, $80 sound like $75 sounds like what like people would pay for a fleet, even less probably. So it's like, okay, clearly define what it is we're getting out of this, right? We're gonna vacuum the interior, wipe down the panels. There's still gonna be a bunch of stains. There's still gonna be a bunch of marks everywhere. But it's just like a maintenance. You have to be very clear on what they're gonna get, because you're gonna do the maintenance on the vehicles. You're gonna say you're done. They're gonna come out, inspect the vehicles. Like, hey, well, there's still some stains over here. Hey, can you get the smudge over here? Hey, can you get the scratch out? Hey, there's still a little bit of dirt over here. Can you come get this? Hey, by the way, I still see some. And then like you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna knock it out super fast. And then they're like, oh well, hey, I still see a bunch of spots. Like, can you get all of these? Like, it shouldn't take you that long. And so that's why we don't do that at all. I'm not gonna get into that kind of situation there. Next question here is, let me find one here, is what kind of business do you want to do next? Yeah, so I think right now, like the next business would be the proper care, the product line that we're doing. Again, like right now, it's version 001, right? We have limited products, limited quantity, limited everything. But, where's it going to be a year from now, 3 years from now? So I would say that's probably the next business that I'm starting. Well, I've started, now it's just like launching it and such. Aside from that, that's why we also started offering PPF, vinyl, and soon here tint services. Not that it's a new business, but like it's a new line of services that we're expanding into, and that opens up new opportunities and new possibilities of what we could do with the business. So that in itself, not a new business, but those are like offering PPF, vinyl, tint is much different than if we added smoke odor removal to our services, right? Like when we added smoke odor removal, like a year and a half ago, nothing changed. Like we ordered the ozone machine, but after that, like we ordered a few products and everything was just about the same. But offering even vinyl, just like vinyl alone or PPF, it's like, it's different now. Like how you sell it is different. The amount of time it takes is different. The scale is different. The pricing is different. So, and then now if we do that with PPF, vinyl, tint, now it's like, oh dang, like it feels like it's a brand new business now. Because it kind of is, because those services bring in a different kind of clientele than detailing. So yeah, that's why we also did that. So yeah, so over the next 10 years, over the last 10 years, it was primarily detailing, right? Because I've now been detailing for 12 years. Over the last 10 years, it's been primarily detailing. And call it over the next 10 years, it's going to be focused on proper care, the product line, Detail Groove, which is, what you're listening to here, and then continuing to grow and run our, I mentioned this in a previous episode. Eventually we should probably change our name to Auto Solutions instead of detailing, right? Because if we are going to include PPF, vinyl, tint, it's no longer just detailing. And if someone looks at our name and like it just says detailing in our name, then they're like, oh, they just do detailing. But if they read Auto Solutions, like it already gives them like a different connotation of like what they do and what services they might be offering. So that's something we might do in the future. Not now, because it's a little technical to try to change a domain without hurting the SEO efforts. But that's something that we might look into in the future. Next question here is, if a company asks you to use their product in a video, should you here you go. If a company asks you to use their product in a video, should you charge, and how much? So I'm assuming this person is referring to getting paid by a brand to promote their product. So Up to this point, since 2015 when I started the YouTube channel till today, the only sponsorship brand deal I've ever had was with Jobber. That's it. I get like 10 DMs, emails per month saying, hey, how much do you charge for a collab? Hey, how much do you charge for a review? Hey, how much do you charge to do a brand deal? And it's the same thing every single time. Whether it's a chemical, it's a hardware, it's whatever. I always say, if you want, I say I don't charge anything because I won't take your money, right? I say it differently, but just, that's the essence of it. It's like, if you'd like, you could send me the product for free. If I like it, and if at some point I make a video about it in some way, great. But you're not going to pay me to do a review. You're not going to pay me to make a video. And for me, it's a few things. It's like, one, I don't like being not controlled, but I don't like just taking products and making a video out of it because like they're paying you. So they're kind of, holding you. I don't like that. And then two, you guys know how I feel about products and such. So like I wouldn't feel right talking about a product, like if it's a new line of detailing products, right? Because I get a lot of those. Like, hey, we're launching a new line of products, or we're a new brand, and it's like, yeah, so here's another interior cleaner. It's so good. Oh, here's another glass cleaner. It's so good, right? Like you guys have never heard me talk like that before. Which is the same way I'll be going into proper care as well. It's like you're not going to hear me talk about like, oh, hey, this is the best glass cleaner. This is the best all-purpose cleaner. Because if you just buy it from a reputable brand, like it's going to work. And a lot of times, it literally comes down to like the sense of the product. It comes down to the size that you can buy it in. So anyway, so that part. And then two, like there's it like, and this is across every industry on YouTube and social media, of like, there's a fine line between a sponsored video, a promoted review, and then like your own genuine product review. And a lot of detailers, not a lot of detailers, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but there are some detailers out there that it's a full paid on review. Like they like, and don't get me wrong, they say like, hey, this is a paid product. And like the whole 12-minute video is literally just a product pitch. Like if they're getting paid for a review, it is no longer a review. It's a sponsored video. Like you can't pay someone to review it. It's not a review, right? And you can say, oh, they're going to be very honest. They're getting paid for it. No, like it's a sponsored video. So, yeah, like I've seen videos of products, which I know for a fact that they're getting paid for it, and I know how much because I got that same deal as well. And I watch the videos and I'm like, like, no, that's like I test, like I got sent out that product, and that's why I do it as well, because a long time ago I got sent products. I was gonna make a review video on it, and the product literally broke while I was using it. Like as I was making the YouTube video, the product that I was using broke, and I was like, well, that sucked. So like yeah, like I've seen reviews and I'm like, I know this dude is lying because I use the exact same thing in the exact same way, and there's zero way I'm ever using that in my business because it doesn't work. It takes too long, and it's more cumbersome to use this thing than to just go do it this other way. So anyways, yeah, so that's why I'm like, no, like I don't want to get paid for anything. Like, again, like I have a bunch of products that brands have sent me. And again, that's what's like, hey, if you want to send it to me for free, that's cool. If I like it at some point, in some way, at some time, to some capacity, I might make a video on it. But if I don't, I don't. And there's plenty of products back there that you've seen that I don't have not talked about because it's just like, like I didn't want to make a video on it. So yeah, like that's so yeah. So no, I personally don't. Again, the only sponsorship I have is Jobber. And that's because like I generally use it every single day for 4 years, and I paid for the service for 4 years, and I was in the software, in the app every single day, and I would talk to customer support, and like I generally use that product every single day for 4 years as I paid for it every month. And 4 years later, the opportunity came about. They started to do program, and they reached out and said, "Hey, Oscar, like, we've been talking to you for a while. We want to try to go into new industries. Like, would you be interested in doing this?" And that's how that brand deal came about. But yeah, like I've been paid. I got, brand deals for $3,000, for $5,000. I've been offered that. Like, whatever you see, I've been offered the same. And like across all brands. And I'm not saying like this puts me any high. Like, I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. I'm just saying like how I sit with like with sponsorships and stuff. It's like that's not something that kind of attracts me to try to take on more, just take on brand deals because I want the cash or I want the money. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, that's why I have my own courses. We're launching our own products. That way I'm in control of it, and I can, I have more control of like how it's promoted and how it's positioned. That was a long rant. My bad. Okay, next question here is, let me look around. This is a quick one. Did I go to college? So technically, I did. I went to college for like a year and a half, like a semester or 2 semesters. But I was going to be a history teacher for high school or middle school. I said middle school, I think. Yeah, I think I want to be a middle school history teacher because, one, I love history, and then 2, I love to teach and I love to like help people, just like help people move forward in their career, life, whatever. But quickly I realized like, yeah, this is not for me. I mean, I can vividly remember walking past the courtyard with my backpack on, walking to my history class. What class was it? Anyways, I was walking to class, and I was walking. It was a nice summer day, and I stopped midway, and I was like, "There's got to be another way to be successful." And I turned around, got my car, and then I never went back to college, and I started and I really focused on the detailing business. So I did for a semester, if that counts. Next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? I kind of touched on this earlier. Proper care, continuing to grow that. I would love to really make that the main focus. Not leave the detailing business, but as far as like what I could do as far as content and distribution and all that, that's something that I really want to focus in over the next 10 years. But yeah, I mean, I probably doing the exact same thing right now, just at a larger scale. Still focusing on the detailing business, still focusing on Detail Groove, posting videos on Instagram, TikTok, whatever new platform comes out in the future. Focusing on proper care content, proper care products, just getting it into more hands of detailers, helping more detailers, start and grow their business. Yeah, I mean, that's literally, as far as like professional, that's I can easily see myself doing that the next 10 years as well. I mean, other things I'd like to do is like get into, continue to focus on some form of sports, as far as like, whether it's working out, whether it's playing, maybe doing volleyball or pickleball, or even doing boxing, getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I could also see myself, that's why I'm building the sim setup. For those that watch me on Instagram, I've kind of posted that on there as well, that I've gotten into racing over the last few months. So attending racing events. So I really pay attention to like the Indy series, which is here in the States. Obviously F1, endurance racing. So I don't know if they say WEC. I say WEC, which is the World Endurance Championship, which is where you have like your 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, and 24-hour races. I don't really follow NASCAR, drift, drag, rally. I don't really follow those. But I would like to, so I'm building a racing sim to do that. I'd like to do more karting. That's for sure. Unfortunately, with that is there's the karting locations are too far from here to drive. As far as like, it's like a 50-minute drive. Like with no traffic, it's like 47 minutes to go to the karting location, and that's too far. That's too much of a time commitment. But would it be cool if there was like, I go to a karting location if it was like much closer to me? Absolutely. So maybe I was like, man, I'll just build my own karting location and start a karting business just so I could do my own karting whenever I want, and keep it way closer to me. So anyways, I can see that happening, or me over the next 5 years. Last question here, so we can wrap it up because I know it's a rather long video here, is any business suggestions or tips for anyone starting. See, this is when they any business suggestions or tips for anyone starting looking to expand. So that's a very relative key a phrase, right? I want to expand. Well, what does that mean? I want to grow. What does grow mean? Well, I'd like to get more customers. What does getting more customers mean? I'd like to make more money. Well, how much money? So it's like, expanding can be going from $1,000 a month to $5,000. That's expanding. Going from 5 to 10,000, that's expanding. Going from 10 to 20, that's expanding. Going from 15 to 50, that's expanding. So, what's the context? It's a very vague question. Like it would have been great. And here's a great life advice, right? If you want better answers, ask better questions, right? So, if this person would have been like, hey, what are your suggestions to growing from $7,000 to $15,000 over the next 6 months so I can go from a mobile to a shop? What are your tips? That's a lot. That's a much more accurate question that I can answer versus a vague question. So, just if you want better answers, ask better questions, right? It's just good advice. So on that one, a big thing is always going to be your marketing. Like a lot of these questions that I have here, and I'll actually go through and watch. Let me see here. So this one, what advice do you give someone who is anxious about building up their small company? How do I raise my prices without scaring current customers? Best way to get clients? How do I get high paying clients? See another one here. What's the best way to get customers? How do you start SEO? How did you get customers when you first started? How do I get more clientele? I want to create my own website to get more customers. What do you recommend? So basically, as you can see, a lot of the questions that I get are always about how do you get more customers? How do you raise your prices? How do you make more money? And so the questions are like, how do you expand? What's like me without knowing anything about your business? Probably one thing you can do that will kind of just for the most part work is get more customers. And how do you get more customers is get more leads. And how do you get more leads is generate more traffic. And how do you generate more traffic? SEO, search engine optimization, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube, TikTok. So that's your focus. If you want to expand, get more traffic to get more leads to get more sales. Now if you have that going, then like there's so many things that you can optimize. So it's like you could be getting all the traffic in the world, right? Let's say you're getting, let's say you're getting 10 calls a day, right? 10 calls a day. That'd be great. I think most people would be happy with that. But you're only booking one customer a day. Now, is that the quality of lead? Possibly, right? What if they're all, looking for a cheap detail of $100 and you're offering a $1,000 service, right? Sure. But could it also be that you're not good at talking on the phone? Could it also be that your communication skills are not that good? That could totally be a possibility as well. So it's like there's so many things that you have to optimize in your business to make sure you're capitalizing on every opportunity. So I can say like as a very vague generalization, yes, get more leads, get more customers. But then it's everything else around there, right? Like how do you create the best customer experience? How do you make sure that the customers that are booked in your calendar like are just absolutely wowed by your service and by your experience? So it's communication. It's like having your operations in place so that there's systems and processes on everything you do. That way it's always consistent and always, punctual and on time. So yeah, like it's really hard to answer like the very vague question, but go get more customers. That usually helps a lot. Okay, I'll end it right here. Thank you very much. Again, follow me on Instagram if you want to be able to ask your question. I answered them on my Instagram stories, but just ask over there. It's on Instagram. It's @Dita Group. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you on the next one.